Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is about the Findagrave app. I know I've done a video in the past about the Findagrave website, which I love so much. And I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. But today's video is about the Findagrave app, how that works. So as you can see, this is my church, family history, LDS gospel page on my phone. It has near the bottom the Findagrave app. But before we open the app, I'm going to show you guys how to get the app. You'll need to go to your Play Store or your App Store or whatever it is in Android or iPhone world. Ooh, I should also remind you guys, I do have a Droid and not an iPhone, but I believe the app should work for the iPhone and it should be very similar to what I'm going to show you. But if it's not, I'm sorry, I have a Droid, not an iPhone. Never had an iPhone, so I don't know what that would look like. Anyway, so let's go get the app. So I'm going to go to my Play Store, which is screen over and then right corner app. Then I'm going to go in my search bar and type Findagrave. And first thing that pulls up is Findagrave or Billions of Graves. You'll want to click Findagrave, and then it should say install, and you'll want to install it. I don't have that option because I've already installed it on my phone, so I have uninstall or open. But I'm not going to open it that way. I'm going to close that and go back to my church page. And as I said before, down here near the bottom, it says Findagrave, and it's a white little app with a square little, a purple little square with a headstone and an exclamation mark in it and little flowers on each side. That's your Findagrave app. This one right here. That's your Findagrave app. So that's what it looks like. And let's click on it and open the app. Unlike Billions of Graves, you don't actually have to sign in to view things on the Findagrave app or Findagrave website. You can log in to change certain things or add photos or whatever, but just to look at the information on the website, you don't have to log in. So, and if you do want to make an account with them, it is free. And you have full access to everything, unlike Billions of Graves, where you have to pay to have extra access. Stupid, I know. So here's their homepage. You pretty much have 4 options. We'll go through each one from top to bottom. So we're going to start off with search for a memorial. So this is searching for one person. Also, this is something that I love about Findagrave. It's if the person doesn't have a headstone, they are still added to Findagrave. Unlike Billions of Graves, you have to have a headstone in Billions of Graves. And Findagrave, you do not. So if you want to find a person, a memorial, a plot that your ancestor buried on, you'll want to go here and go find a memorial. And then you'll just plug in the information as much as you can. But that's also kind of a double-edged sword. If you still can't find your ancestor by plugging in the information, try taking away some of the information, and it may pop up. But then if you have too big of information, you may not be able to find your ancestor, or too many people, and you'll have to add more information. So just take and add what you need until you can find your ancestor, and if you can't, I'm sorry they're not here on Findagrave, and you can add them to Findagrave. But we'll get to that all later. So I'm going to look up my ancestor. Her name is, oh, another little quick thing. Her first name is Sarah. Let me just do that real quick. So another thing about Findagrave, which I find is amazing and awesome, is that if you're looking up a female ancestor, you can actually put in their maiden name, their married name, any of their names. Doesn't matter, it will still try to find them and pull them up. So I'm gonna put Sarah Garrett, because her maiden name was Garrett. And I'm just gonna go with that and see if it can pull it up. So instead of hitting clear at the bottom, which will clear everything you typed, you'll want to hit search that's at your top right corner. Now that's a little strange and really weird, but work with me. So we'll hit search and we'll see what we can find. So it's pulling up a bunch of Sarah Garrett's. Oops, sorry for the blurs. My phone to computer, not always the greatest. Okay, so I'm not finding Sarah Garrett. Okay, so I'm going to go back and see if I can add more information about my Sarah Garrett. So I'm just going to push this back arrow, and I'm back here to the search thing. Now I'm going to put in like country and a birth year. Let's actually put in country. Let's go United States. Go with the state of Utah. Maybe. And now we'll go search. Don't hit the clear, hit the search at the top. And nope, it actually is only pulling up married names. That's interesting because the website it does married and maiden name. Okay, so we'll put her married name in, or whatever her name is that is on the headstone. Sorry to lead you guys astray. I really thought that it would do her maiden name. But this is her married name, and we'll try her married name and see if it works. So search, results. Come on, Sarah. Oh, it would help if I spelled Ogden correct. Noob. Okay, Ogden. There we go. Now let's search. There we go. So out of all these ones, this last one is my ancestor, which is really weird that it's not pulling up her maiden name. On their website, it would be like Ogden, comma, Sarah Ruth, and then her maiden name Garrett, and it would be an italic, so the little slanty. And the slanty means their maiden name, but that's really weird that they're not pulling that up here on the app. Interesting. Anyway. So if we click on her, anywhere on that line that is her, it should pull up her personal page here on Findagrave. So this is Sarah Ogden's personal page here on the Findagrave app. No, it's not the prettiest picture of her, but work with me, okay, people? So it says here up at the top, Ogden, because that was her last name, her married last name. Then it has a picture icon right next to that saying if you want add more photos of Sarah, you can add more photos. Then underneath that, it says more, which if we click on that, it says add GPS, share or save to your account, or pin her. So you can add a GPS of her location, you can share on social media, save to your account, or pin her, which is pretty much saving to your account. So you can do any of those cool options. I'm going to hit my back arrow. And on that same line over on the other side is you can actually request a headstone. So if your ancestor doesn't have a headstone or a picture of their headstone, you can request the picture of their headstone. And then we can just scroll through and view the pictures we have. So she has 2 headstones. So she has this big one and this little itty bitty one that's laying flat on the ground. So I think that's cool that you can view all the photos of her headstones and personal pictures of her that people have added on, whereas other companies do not. So I am scrolling down, and now we can see Sarah's full name, including her married name, the Garrett. Then we can see her birth information, where she was born April 1st in England, Derbyshire, England. And then her death was in 1890 in Kaysville, Utah. So in the United States of America. So one side is all the birth information, and then there's the little space, and then everything on the other side is her death information. Now it's a little confusing, but I'm going to explain how that works for you. So then this is something that I find really super cool about Findagrave that other websites don't. down below, it lists her family members. So it says family. Then it says Edward Ogden, meaning that's her spouse, because right underneath it says spouse. Edward Ogden was her spouse. And then her children were Samuel, William, Lucy, Esther, Elizabeth, and Edward. Those are all her children. And then we can click on any other names, such as Edward. And now it has brought us here to Edward's personal page here on Findagrave. No, it says Sarah, but right next to Sarah it says Edward. They both have a shared headstone. And then we can view all the information on Edward here and view all his cool family members' information. I'm going to go back to Sarah. And then if I want to go back to Sarah, I can just hit the little back arrow up at the top, and it will take us back to Sarah. So once again, we are here at Sarah's page. And I'm going to keep scrolling past the family because we already talked about that. And down below has a memories / stories / bios / obituaries for Sarah or whatever, or for whoever this person is. In this case, it's just a bio for Sarah, but I have seen people put like obituaries on here or other little personal stories and memories. So here's a cute little bio of Sarah. And then underneath that is burial information. So it gives us her plot number, what cemetery she is in or buried at, and the cemetery's phone number and address and all that. Who created her personal page here on Findagrave. But we're going to go back to the burial information, and as you probably noticed on the right hand side there is a little arrow. If we click on that, it should pull up the Kaysville Cemetery onto Google Maps, so you can just drive right there. Sure enough it has, but oh, there it goes. You want this device to know your location? No, I don't want people to know my location. So it had brought it up onto my Google Maps, and right now it's saying, hey, get directions there, but I don't want to have directions. So it does pull it up on your Google Maps to give you directions to the Kaysville Cemetery. So I'm going to go back to the, there we go. And then I believe if we click on the Kaysville Cemetery's name, it should take us to the Kaysville City Cemetery's personal page here on the Findagrave app. Let's click on that. So it does bring us there, and now we can look at photos of the Kaysville Cemetery. Oh, cute. Then down below it has more information. So it has 9,318 memorials, 7 photo requests, where you can add a new memorial. And then once again, down below that is cemetery information such as the address and the phone number and the Google Maps thing. So let's go up and view the memorials. So I'm going to click on memorials, or the little arrow. And now I can view all the memorials of people at the Kaysville Cemetery. Then if I'm like, oh, I want to click on this, well, let's not click on them, they're pretty fresh. Go down to, okay, so if I want to view Alma Adams, click on him, and it will take us to his personal page. Then if I want to go back, I'll hit the arrow, and we're back to the Kaysville Cemetery name. And then up here at the top, you can search and be like, I'm looking for Sarah. And then we can go through and look for all the Sarahs. Then down below all that, and the little green line, you can view all the people who are at the Kaysville Cemetery, people who have photos. So anybody who doesn't have a photo will be taken out. Who don't have photos, you can view just those. Oh, there's an infant, how sad. Or you can view requests. So the requests. But we'll get back to the requests. Let's go back. And we're now back to the Kaysville's personal page here on Findagrave app. We're going to do open 7 photo requests. And here are the 7 photo requests. It's the exact same of what we just saw 5 seconds ago. And we can go through and do photo requests. So pretty much these are people who they believe are buried in the Kaysville Cemetery. Somebody has requested headstones for these people. The little paper icon next to the person's name means that the person has wrote a note, and you can read those notes. And I don't know what the little red exclamation mark means. I would assume that means that there is some type of error or problem. I've also have never filled out a request, so I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I would assume you just click on the person's name, then click on this orange request, or take a photo and add the photo in. But I'm not exactly sure. I've never done it before. So I'm going back to the home page, because I go to the home page and clear and redo a new search if we want to. But you guys should probably know how that works. So we're here back at the home page, and we're actually going to just search for a cemetery. So search for a cemetery. Now I don't want to do my location. So when you do that, it will actually pull up this cute little map of the world. See if I zoom out, I guess not. It has world map. Then you can scroll in to wherever section you want to view a cemetery, or look for a cemetery, I should say. So if I want to find a cemetery, sorry, I rotate these a lot when I zoom in the Utah County area. I zoom into the Utah County, give it a minute, because these things are slow. I've learned that from the Billions of Grave app when I filmed that one. I will also leave a link to that video of the Billions of Grave app in the description box below, in case you are a fan of Billions of Graves, or if you want the other one and figure out which one works better for you. Okay. Now that I'm giving it a minute, it has pulled up cemeteries or places people have died. I'm guessing places people have died because there's one in the middle of Utah Lake. That or it's an error. Anyway, it has pulled up cemeteries in the Utah County area. And you guys probably have noticed that they are in 2 different colors. The green ones, I believe, mean that there is a request for photos, and the orange just means that there isn't a request. And that's where the cemetery is at. Oh, it says find a cemetery test. Find a graves test cemetery. Oh, it says find a grave test cemetery. Oh, that's why it's out in the middle of Utah Lake. That's pretty funny. Okay. So if we want to look at the one in Linden, we can click on that and say, here's the Linden City Cemetery. It has 521 memorials. And then we can click on Linden Cemetery, and it should pull up the Linden Cemetery personal page. And sure enough, it does. And we can go through and view the cute little photos or the memorials, or figure out how to get directions to go to that cemetery. So let's go back. Okay, and now it's brought us back to the map. And then we can click like the one right above it that says Pleasant Grove. And it'll be like, oh, here is the Pleasant Grove City Cemetery. It has 9,252 memorials and 2 photo requests. Then we can click on that and view Pleasant Grove City Cemetery. So let's go back to the map. So if you want to choose a location or a cemetery, you can click up here and be like, choose a cemetery or choose your location, and it will search those areas. Or if you want to, you can do a view in a list form. This 3 dots with the 3 lines is viewing all the cemeteries in a list form. And then you can scroll through that list and view all the cemeteries that are in the list. So that's pretty much the map section here in Findagrave's app. So I'm going to go back to the home page. Now we're going to view the upload queue, which is nothing because I haven't signed in. So it says you have uploaded 0 memorials and you have transcribed 0 uploads. So kind of a little pointless to show you guys. But if you upload photos, this is where you would see them, or if you have created pages for your ancestors, this is where you would view them. So back to the home page, and then you can go My Profile, and this is where you would sign in and view your profile and edit it if you so choose. But I'm not going to do that, so. This is the Billions of Graves app. I love their website. I haven't played around a whole lot with their app, but I really need to and get to know it and be more familiar with it. But I love Billions of Graves. I love how you can look up people who don't have headstones. So if they, died coming across the plains and they were just buried in some location or died at sea, they still have a page here on Find a Grave. I love the Search the Cemetery option where you can go and view it on a map and search for cemeteries that way. And that you can fill in requests with your phone, that you could just right there with the cemetery and fill in the request. So I love that they have created this into an app and made things so much easier, and have made this so much easier for those who are filling requests, or if you want to show somebody something about a computer nearby, you can just do it on an app. So I recommend getting this app and viewing your ancestors' headstones, or adding your ancestors' headstones or burial plots. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was informative and helpful. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. If you guys have any suggestions on anything else I should film, please also comment below. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Bye.